not entirely sure how much reading is going to happen in this reading vlog. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. Today's video is my weekly, well actually it's going to be a weekend reading vlog. And basically I am off to London today. I am going for the weekend to see a show that had been put off many times because of pandemic reasons, obviously. And it is finally happening this weekend. I'm going to see a comedian and I've decided to sort of make a weekend of it. So I'm there from today, which is Friday, get back on Sunday. I'm going on my own, so I will have some reading time when I'm sort of in the hotel and things like that. And I am reading The Beast That Is Empire of the Vampire, which I'll give you actual thoughts on that later on. But I don't know how much time I'm actually going to have to read because I do have things that I'm doing. But I just thought I'd let you know that that is the plan. I'm going to take you with me on my little trip around London and I'll give you thoughts on Empire of the Vampire along the way as well. Okay, I'm going to go now because I need to leave in like half an hour and I need to eat before I go. But I just thought I'd come and say hello. The best hotel room lighting is never a fun thing, is it? You should have just seen a montage of my day. I spent most of the day with my friend and we went into bookshops mainly. I did actually buy something and I haven't picked it up. I should go and find that in a minute. But yes, I spent the day in bookshops and then I went to the theatre. It just sums me up as a person pretty much, doesn't it? I'm really unprepared for this. I've also got like a programme from the show I've just been... Oh no, actually, I do have that. Let me grab the book. So I've got myself sorted, I've grabbed things. So I went book shopping. I bought this one, which is Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzsimmons. And it says, I'm going to read you the synopsis because I do know what this is about, but I'm too tired to make my own synopsis right now, so I'm just going to read it to you. 15-year-old Spencer is a proud nerd, an awesome big brother, and a messy in training. He's also a transgender. After a year of bullying, Spencer gets a fresh start at a new school with great friends, a spot on the boys' soccer team, and maybe even something more than friendship with one of his teammates. The only thing is no one knows that Spencer is trans, he's passing. So when a discriminatory law forces his coach to bench him, Spencer has to make a choice. Cheer his team on from the sidelines or fight for his right to play, even if it means coming out to everyone, including the guy he's falling for. I've heard good things about this one, so when I saw it in the store, I've not actually seen it in a shop yet, saw it in the store, I thought I would pick it up. I got this in the big Waterstones. I don't think I filmed anything in the bookshops, but I got this one in the sort of big flagship Waterstones on Piccadilly. If anyone's been to London, you probably know that bookshop. It is huge. I also went to Foyles and I went to Gaze the Word, but I didn't pick anything up in either of those, although I might go back tomorrow because there was a couple of things I saw that I didn't buy. Anyway, after that, I went to somewhere called the Theatre Cafe, which I think I might have filmed a clip of, but I'm not entirely sure. Basically, it is a cafe which is all centred around musical theatre. When you go in, there is like a jukebox that just plays musical theatre songs. There are pictures of all different shows on the wall. There's props from different shows on the wall. It's one of my favourite places. All of the drinks are named after musical theatre things, and they've just put a bar in as well as being a cafe. So we went and had a few cocktails. I had a putting on the Aperol spritz, and my friend Bjorn had, I think, a today for me mojito for you, and a Big Blue Freeze or something, which is which the first one was a Rent reference and the second one was Heather's reference. And yes, I just really enjoy all of it. All the hot drinks have got references as well. It's just really fun. And then I did actually go to the theatre after. I went to see Frozen the musical. I have been wanting to see this since it got announced, but nobody that I knew actually wanted to see the show. But I actually don't mind going to the theatre by myself, so I went to see it on my own and I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best show I've ever seen. It was fun. I'm obviously not necessarily the intended audience. It's definitely aimed at children, which was fun. Although I do feel like some of the kids sat next to me were really enjoying it when it was songs that they knew, but they did have to flesh it out with a lot of other songs as well, and they didn't seem to enjoy those quite as much. But it was fun. It was a lot of sort of Elsa walking around the stage and belting out a big number, which she didn't have very much else to do in terms of like any sort of movement or much sort of like acting scenes. It was literally just let's belt out a big song and move on to the next bit. I mean, luckily Samantha Box can really belt out a song, so I was fine. I was still loving that, and I did enjoy all the other actors in there as well. So yeah, it was a good show. It's just not going to be something that I'll go and see multiple times probably. I am going to see another show tomorrow, but I'll tell you about that one then. Right now, let's get on to talking about books, because that is, I think, what you are here for. And I am currently reading, as I mentioned at the beginning of this vlog, this amazing thing. I don't have the dust jacket, it's home. But yes, look at the size of this, like the size of my head. It's ridiculous. This is Emperor of the Vampire by Jerry Kristoff. This arrived 2 days ago. I've only managed to read about 50 pages so far because it came on Wednesday, but then I had another book to finish before I could pick it up. I started reading it yesterday, but then I needed to pack last night when I got home, and then I read it on the train on the way here. But I feel like it will be fast paced when it gets into it, but at the minute it's still just setting it up, and also I'm kind of just savouring it and like taking in every word and reading it properly. So it's not the quickest read right now. I think it will get quicker as it goes along and gets into the story, but I'm very much enjoying the 50 pages that I have read so far. I really like Jay Kristoff's writing style. The main character is quite like sarcastic, which I love. The sense of humour that he has is great. He once again has got a really great first line to the book that gets you sort of hooked straight away. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to reading this. And basically it is coming up to 11 p.m. now. I am not tired enough to go to sleep yet, so I'm going to go and sit on the bed and read some more of Empire of the Vampire, and I will probably check in with you guys tomorrow. Hello, it is Saturday morning. I am all ready to go out. Let me actually show you what my dress looks like. I'm wearing a nice little rainbow dress today. I don't know if this is a really good angle. So I am going out to go and see another musical today. I'm going to see Cinderella, which I actually have tickets to see this in November, but then while I was down for the weekend to try and go and see it sooner because I'm desperate to see this show. So I'm going to see that this afternoon, and then I have the actual reason that I'm down in London for the weekend is that I had tickets to see Trevor Noah, the comedian, and it was supposed to happen last April and it kept getting delayed for obvious reasons. It's finally happening this weekend, so that's why I'm down here originally. I'm looking at the camera and realising I need to put lipstick on. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a quick reading update because I have managed to make some progress in Empire of the Vampire. I am up to page, let's find out, 164. I am starting to really enjoy this. It was a little bit slower at the start, but I find that Jay Kristoff's books are a little bit slower. You have to build up to it. It's adult fantasy in general. You do just have to build into the world before you can sort of be really thrown into it. Otherwise, it's just a bit too disorientating. But yeah, really good. It's in sections. So the first book was a lot of setting up the world and what the main character is and how he's connected to the vampires and all of that. And then it's actually sort of told as if he is telling you the story from later on in his life. So he is recounting this story to somebody who is writing it down. And the first book is very much, he has been told to sort of tell the story as if the person reading it has no concept of the world, which I really like, because obviously that does help from a reader's point of view. But the first part was very much sort of what initially happened that made him realise, that made him sort of connected to the vampires. The second part now, he's kind of gone, actually I'm a bit bored of telling that story, I'll get back to that later, and gone to a completely different timeline, which I actually enjoy. I've mentioned before, I like books where they jump around in timelines and you have to try and figure out where you're at, depending on, like, figure out what's happened before, and then it gets revealed later on. So I'm very much enjoying it, and it seeming to be getting to more of the part where it's all based around this artifact which is called the Grail, and that's in the synopsis, I believe, so that's not a spoiler, but there is some sort of connection between the main character and this Grail, and we're starting to find out what happened when he encountered it now. That's the timeline that we're in, so it's starting to get into the story, and I'm really enjoying it. The only issue is I cannot carry this book around with me all day because I do not have room in my bag, so I will not be reading it until this evening, so maybe not making too much progress today. I'm hoping to get about page 200, so at least if I can do that when I get back tonight, that'll be great. But yes, I am going to go now because, yeah, just need to get out into the fresh air. So I will catch up with you guys probably later on tonight, but I might film a little bit of clips while I'm out and about. I put some lipstick on, that looks better. I don't look quite so washed out now. All right, and now I'm gonna go. Well, so it is now Sunday morning. I didn't update last night. I was very tired when I got back to the hotel room. So it is Sunday morning. I've got up, I've got ready for the day, but I don't actually need to leave the hotel room for like another 3 hours. And there's no point in leaving earlier because there's not really much to do today until I go to sort of one last show. And I need to go and drop my bag off at left luggage, and I want to do that later rather than earlier, so that I'm not having to pay for it anymore because I'm having to take it to the train station. But you guys don't need to know that. What you guys want to know is how my reading is going. So I am obviously still reading this beast. I am now 250 pages in, which is starting to look like a bigger chunk. I mean, I've still got, what, 500 pages left of this? But I am still very, very much enjoying it. And I said about there's multiple timelines, and this we've gone back to the original timeline again now, so we're getting more of the backstory. And yeah, there's not really, I don't want to say too much like spoilery wise, because I've never even really read the synopsis properly of this because I wanted to go in completely blind, so I don't really know how much has been said in the synopsis and how much hasn't. But essentially we're going back again to the main character is called Gabe, and we're going back again to him sort of learning about how he's connected to everything, and it's all just really intriguing. I really want to carry on reading it. I don't know if I mentioned yesterday that I found the audiobook on Scribd, so I've been listening to the audiobook while I've been getting ready this morning. I don't like listening to the audiobook sort of while I'm just walking around in the middle of the day because I'm by myself, so I could, but I do like to follow it along with the book or have the book near me as much as possible because there are illustrations in this, and I do like to see the illustrations. So I've been listening to it while I've been in the hotel room getting ready. I'm going to carry on listening to it now, and I'll probably read and listen to more on the train home later. But yes, that's all I want to do, is just give you a quick update. I do also have thoughts on shows I've seen this weekend, but to be honest, I just want to get back to reading this now. So what I'm going to do is do that, and then I will catch you guys up later when I sort of get home, and I'll give you a full rundown of everything that I've done this weekend, and also hopefully thoughts on this. I know I've got like 500 pages left, but I'm really hoping that I can actually finish it by tomorrow. Tomorrow like evening or Tuesday at the latest, because I am actually off work for the week now, and I would like to try and read 3 to 4 books this week. So this is book 5 of my Bookopoly magical readathon TBR match TBR. I have 10 in total to read. So halfway when I get past this book, I have read both of the chunkier books that are on my TBR once I finish this, because I've read this and I've read Royal Assassin. I could not remember the name. That was like the second one in the Farseer trilogy. But yeah, I've read this one and Royal Assassin. So everything that I've got left to read, I've also read the 2 smallest books. I've read Down Among the Sticks and Bones and I've read Saga Volume 4. But what I have left to read is YA Thriller in The Cousins, a middle grade in Amari and the Night Brothers, The Night Circus, which I think could be a slower read. So I don't know when I'm planning on picking that up, but I am intrigued to pick it up next. Anyway, I have She Became the Sun. And I have one other book that's on my TBR that I literally could not remember, so I'm doing well with that one. Oh, that's gonna bug me. I've been sat here pondering this for the last like 2 minutes now. It's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to go and watch my TBR video to find out. But I'm hoping that I can try and read. I'm going to try and read the ones that I'm most interested in this week, because I do have time to sort of dedicate to them, so I can just speed through them, because I am in a reading mood. So I'm hoping that if I can just sort of devour the ones that I'm most interested in, and then I'll have the few that I'm least interested in to sort of finish in the next 2 weeks. I'll have like longer, although I'm busier, I will have a longer amount of time to do those. And I can just, yeah, really power through the ones that I'm very excited for this week and just have a good reading week. So right now I'm going to get back to Empire and I will catch up with you guys later. So I just rewatched my TBR, and apparently the book that I was forgetting was The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab, which is both a short book and a book by one of my favourite authors. So maybe that should be the next one I pick up, because yeah, I don't know, I'm feeling very indecisive about what I'm going to read next. I think when I finish Empire, I'm just going to pick whichever one speaks to me the most and be like, yes, I'm reading this. Right, now I'm going to go. Hello. This is obviously a very different setting than when I last saw you guys. I'm back home. I got home yesterday actually. I didn't manage to update the vlog last night at all because I was sleepy, and I kept meaning to pick up the camera all day today and then just kept forgetting. I spent the day sort of reorganising my bookcase and ordering a TBR cart. I'm very excited about that. Should be coming later on in the week. I have done no reading today, but I have done some reading, I believe, since I last spoke to you guys. So I am now about halfway through this beast. I'm at page 322, I think, and it is 720 pages, so just under halfway. And I'm still very, very much enjoying it. Unless something drastic happens, I can see it being a 5-star, which is fantastic. I am just really loving the writing style. It's very much typical J. Kristoff and what I know from having just read Nevernight. It's very sarcastic. It's just fun. I love it so much. I did mention that I was also going to give a little bit of a roundup on my thoughts on the theatre things I saw this weekend. So on Friday I went to see Frozen, which was enjoyable. I mean, it was as enjoyable as I probably could expect it to be. It wasn't necessarily for me. I'm not necessarily the intended audience for it. Kids seem to, well, I was about to say the kids seem to love it. Some of the kids near me loved it. Some of them got very bored whenever there was a song on that they didn't know from the film, because there's only actually 5 songs in the film, which means that they did need to flesh it out. And yeah, some of them seemed to be getting really bored whenever there was a song that they didn't know. But it was good. This performances, the singing was all very good. It was just a lot of sort of Elsa walking around the stage belting out a ballad, disappearing, and then coming back on belting out another ballad, because realistically she's not actually the main character, even though she's the one that everyone sort of hypes up. So yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Anyway, moving on to what I saw on Saturday, which was a lot better. I went to see Cinderella, Andrew Webber's Cinderella, which has Carrie Hope Fletcher playing Cinderella, and I very, very much enjoyed that. I have tickets to see it in November for my birthday, but I was just desperate to see it sooner because I should have originally seen it last year and it kept getting delayed. So while I was down there, I just thought I'll go and see it in the afternoon, and I really, really enjoyed it. I am a huge fan of Carrie Hope Fletcher. I have seen her in a fair few things now, pretty much since Les Mis. I think the other things that I haven't seen her in would have been War of the Worlds and Christmas Horus. So I've seen Les Mis, both as Eponine and Fantine. I've seen Addams Family, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Heathers, and yeah, really enjoy her performances in general, so I knew I was going to like that aspect of it, and just ended up really enjoying the show as well. It was a nice sort of twist on a story that we did actually know. All the rest of the cast were amazing as well. Ivana Turco, who's playing Prince Charming, well, not Prince Charming actually, Ivana Turco was playing Prince Sebastian in it, was really good as well, and I just enjoyed the show. I'm very happy that I get to go and see it again in November. I've been listening to the soundtrack today while I've been reorganising my books, so it's been good. Saturday night I went to see Trevor Noah. So I know it sounds like I did a lot this weekend, and it did. Basically, I knew that I was going down to go to a big show because I was going to see Trevor Noah. I'd had these tickets booked since last year, and again sort of getting moved, and I thought, well, if I'm going down there and I'm going to see a big show anyway, I'm already sort of going out of my comfort zone at the minute by being around a lot of people with everything that's happening. I'm like, I'm just going to sort of face it all in one go. But while I'm down there, I'm just gonna make the most of it and go and see things. I was still like keeping my distance as much as possible. I was wearing a mask the entire time, but yeah, it was definitely a weird experience to be back in an arena, but it was quite nice. It was a comedy show rather than like a concert, because I wasn't sort of stood up in a crowd of people. I was sat down at my seat. There was actually an empty seat next to me as well, which was nice because just giving me a little bit more breathing room, I suppose. But it was but yeah, Trevor Noah I'm a massive fan of, so it was nice to see him live as well. It was as funny as I expected him to be, so very much enjoyed that. And then yesterday I went to see a play. I went to see a play called Constellations, which has actually got sort of 4 different casts, or did have 4 different casts. It actually closed yesterday, I believe. But the idea is it's a couple, and it's all kind of about like string theory and the multiverse, and you see their relationship play out, but there'll be like a scene that'll take place and then it'll suddenly, the lights will go down, it'll come back on, it's the same scene but slightly different, because it's all about the idea that there are an infinite number of universes out there with all different versions of the world based on like every tiny decision that you've made and the different way that that could have gone. And it was interesting, it was good. The cast I saw had Anna Maxwell Martin and Chris O'Dowd in it, and I don't really know much of what she's done before, but Chris O'Dowd I'm aware of, having been a fan of the IT Crowd, and was very excited to see him live on stage. And yeah, they were both very, very good. Her in particular actually was very good. Her role possibly had like a little bit more to play with in it, and I very much enjoyed that. I would have liked to have seen one of the other casts, because one of the other casts had Russell Tovey in it as well, which I would have liked to have seen. But anyway, I'm rambling. I could talk about theatre all day, but I won't. I will go now, because I am going to be trying to read more of Empire of the Vampire tonight. And yeah, I will check in with you guys in my next vlog, because I actually have a week off work now, so I'm planning on sort of vlogging this week where I try and sort of power through the rest of my TBR. But that's everything for this sort of long weekend reading vlog. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.